Astoria Park, with its waterfront views and grassy fields, has long been a popular destination for families with young children. But is the ground under their feet actually safe? Perhaps not, according to a new report from WNYC, which has some startling facts about Astoria and two other major city parks, which may pose a health threat to you and to your family. So as summer kicks off, this is something you want to know about. Joining me now with some details is Kai Wright, the host of the new WNYC podcast called The Stakes, and WNYC health reporter Christopher Worth. It's nice to have you both here with us.
Thanks for having us.
We're going to get to the podcast in a moment and what it's designed to focus on. But Christopher, let me first come to you and your report, right? The headline in this story here.
Sure.
Why did you decide to take a look at this, and what did you find?
Well, you know, the city council in New York City has been looking at lead. There have been a number of proposed pieces of legislation going through the city council. One of those would require the Parks Department to test all the soil in New York City parks. The health department hasn't seemed so keen on that. They really believe that, you know, lead paint is where we should be focusing all of our efforts. And since there seemed to be a stalemate within city government, we decided to go and have our own look. We chose 3 parks. Astoria Park, because you have 2 major bridges that intersect that park. One, the RFK Bridge, which would have been spewing out, exhaust from leaded gas for many decades. And you have the Hellgate Bridge, which crosses the northern part of the park. We know that was painted with a hardy coating of lead paint when it was built. I think it opened in 1917. And we wanted to know what the soil lead levels were in the park.
I would suspect that people would be surprised to find out that the city doesn't test. Now, I understand, the notion of the housing. We've done a bunch of stories here on NYCHA and the problems with paint. But were you surprised when you found out, as part of your reporting and putting your preparation for this together, that generally there's not as much done as you might have anticipated in terms of that type of testing? Yeah,
I don't know if I was necessarily surprised, but we did find that there just is not a lot of publicly available data on what the soil lead levels are.
All right.
And there's definitely some data from other cities that shows, some research has been conducted that shows a correlation between high lead soil levels in, say Detroit, New Orleans, and high blood lead levels in children.
All right. So what did you find?
So in Astoria Park, we were talking about, the average lead level, I think, was somewhere around 140, but we certainly, in all of the parks that we tested, and that's Astoria Park, McCarran Park in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and Prospect Park in Brooklyn. All 3 of those parks had at least one sample that tested above what the current EPA New York State standard is, which is 400 parts per million in the soil. That 400 parts per million level that is set by the EPA and that New York State follows is kind of an outdated standard, because the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, has said that no level of lead is safe.
Yeah.
That 400 number was derived in the 1990s. And so if we're going to talk about, the Centers for Disease Control has lowered the threshold to 5 micrograms per deciliter in children. And so as we're lowering those levels for blood levels in children, we should really start thinking about lower levels for things like lead in soil.
I'm going to come back to some of the details of this story in a moment. But Kai, let me talk about with you about the podcast, because it's what you led with, this story here, The Stakes. Tell me how it came into existence. What do you want to focus on? And why did this story make sense for the podcast?
There are 2 things that come up in Christopher's reporting on this, both when you're talking about the soil, when you're talking about lead paint. All of it is that are core to what we want to do with this show. One is that we have become complacent with inequities that exist, right? For me, I was surprised to learn how much poison remains in our environment, and how much we've just accepted. Sure, it's there. That's what it is, and
Or we've said, well, they banned lead paint 40 years ago, so we must be fine.
We fixed it.
Now,
it must
right?
be fine. Let's move on, And if some kids get poisoned, then we'll respond to it after the kids get poisoned, as opposed to trying to do something about it on the front end. So it's a really great example of that, one, of the way in which we have just accepted things that are actually outrageous as normal and okay. But they're actually outrageous choices that we have made as a society, that it's okay for kids to get poisoned, and once they get poisoned, then we'll fix the problem instead of fix the problem in the first place. That's one thing we want to do at the podcast, is draw attention to those moments, those choices we've made as a society. And the other thing is that it's a story about accountability. because particularly when we talk about lead paint, it didn't just put itself on the wall. It didn't just get there. The lead industry worked very, very hard for many decades to convince Americans and New Yorkers that this substance was okay because it made a great profit. And
even when they started to learn that it wasn't okay.
Even when they learned, they knowingly, a lot of, particularly when you start looking at the lead paint story that Christopher reported in the podcast, the industry knew a very long time. We as a society knew going back to the Romans that this was poison, and
that's true.
And the industry worked very hard to convince us that it wasn't poison. And as we started to remember that it was poison, worked very hard to prevent government regulation of it. And so it didn't just happen. And the fact that it's still there, they've never been held accountable for that. And that's part of why the poison is still in our environment. So those are two things we care a lot about on this show, is complacency with outrageous things that we've decided are normal, and the ability to not holding people accountable for things, not holding powerful people accountable for what they've done.
Let me come back to something that you mentioned, and that is the industry, the lead paint industry, and how they sold it to us. You go back into the 20th century, starting in the earlier part of the 20th century. How did they go about saying this thing, even though we knew, as you said, back in Roman times, that lead was poison? Right. We have a term, lead poisoning. You put the two words together, you know what that means. And yet it was, everybody was doing it. How did the industry push that upon us?
Yeah, certainly if you look back at that early period in the beginning of the 20th century, there would have been a number of stories around industrial cases of lead poisoning, so workers getting poisoned. At the same time, in the same newspaper, one of the things I like to do is read old issues of the Brooklyn Daily Eagle. Mm-hmm. And if you look through the Brooklyn Daily Eagle, you will find page after page of lead paint advertisements, particularly from Dutch Boy, which was a company that was a product.
You remember the iconic figure of the little Dutch boy with the blonde curls and a little hat.
Exactly. And so NL Industries, or at the time National Lead Company, was running these ads that actually promoted the opposite of what this product did, which was they would say that it promoted good health, that lead paint was good for the health of your family, of your home. That it was the top quality product, that if you were going to hire a painter, make sure that they are using quality Dutch Boy lead paint. That was how it was advertised. Uh-huh. But also they would create these product coloring books, which is something we talk about on the podcast.
Right.
So that, they were giving these coloring books and other advertising products to children. There would be a little paint set inside. It wasn't lead paint, but it was, I think, some kind of watercolor. Kid could go in and color in the pictures, and it told this story of how the Dutch Boy lead was coming into people's homes and making these drab Victorian homes beautiful, and actually marketing these things to kids. And there would be a coupon inside the book. Give this coupon to your mom or dad.
To your parents, to go get the Dutch Boy
go to the store and
lead paint. Great reporting, Christopher, by you, and important reporting. And Kai, the stakes, it's what we need. We need to be reminded sometimes about what's out there, what we need to be concerned about, and who do we need to be concerned about also. So I'm going to look forward to more versions of the stakes. And Christopher, again, great reporting from you, and we'll look forward to hearing some more back from you. In the meantime, maybe we'll get together and we'll talk a little bit more down the road and see what has evolved with regard to this. So gentlemen, thanks both for joining us. I appreciate it.